My name is Shane Faison. In May of 2010, I traveled to Bangkok, Thailand for my first international pro Muay Thai fight, and this is my fight story. So I began training Muay Thai when I was 15 years old at a gym in Philadelphia, and I was good. I started competing in amateur bouts and tournaments, and I did well in all of those. So I decided it was time to take my training to the next level. There were two guys that I trained with that had traveled to Thailand, so I asked them about it, and they said it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I was like, all right, maybe it's time I travel out there and I train and I fight. So it was winter of 2010 when I finally booked my flight, contacted the gym that I would be staying at, and everything was set. So as the date came closer, I would be leaving in May. That's when rioting started happening in Bangkok. There was protesters against the government, known as the Red Shirts, and they were burning tires and cars and smashing windows and buildings, and it was really getting out of hand. And as the date for my flight grew closer, the protests were getting more and more violent, more and more out of hand. So the American embassy out in Thailand shut down and forbade any tourism in Bangkok. So naturally my parents sat me down, and they were nervous wrecks, and they said, I know you've been excited for this, I know you've been planning this, but we can't let you go, it's just not safe. And I remember I started crying, there was tears rolling down my face, and all I could say was, I said, I'm sorry, but I'm going. And I wrote my will that night. I remember I wrote my will because what if something crazy happened? What if I did die? What if my plane crashed, or what if some crazy incident happened where I got killed from some crazy protester or something like that? And all I could think is, I just want to make it to the gym for one day. I just want to train one day. Well, and then I could die. I would die with a smile on my face. I remember saying that. So the next morning, taxi came to pick me up. I made it to the flight, and it took me, I believe, 41 hours to make it to Bangkok. The first thing I remember getting off the plane was just how hot it was. Just so humid in Thailand. I got picked up from the gym owner, and we started driving. And that was when we got on the highway that I saw barrels of black smoke, pouring out of the skyline of Bangkok. And Bangkok's a big city. It's like Philadelphia. It's huge. It's nice. And there's just all this smoke flowing from it. And that's when I was like, wow, this is serious. This is a real deal. So we drove there, and what was good is we were far. We were in the boondocks, far from the city. The camp was awesome. Very, very traditional, very modest. Outdoor bathrooms, no fans, no refrigerators, nothing like that, no air conditioning. As soon as I got out of the car, a bunch of Thai kids came running up, shook my hand, grabbed my bags for me, took it to my room. Everyone was super nice. And I remember just watching everyone training that day, and I was so pumped. I couldn't wait. Went to sleep, and the next day, that's when training began. So at 6 a.m., everyone wakes up, and we go for a 6-mile run. Then we got back, and then we trained for another 2 hours on top of that. And then after that, you were free to do whatever you want until 3 o'clock. Then we would go for a 2-mile run and train for 2 more hours on top of that. And it was like that 6 days a week. Sunday was our only day off. As you can imagine, I was in the best shape of my life. So I was training for 3 weeks out there, and I was really starting to understand the Muay Thai clinch much more than ever. And most of the guys out there only spoke a little bit of English, so they would demonstrate a lot of the techniques. And I was learning a lot. I was learning more there in those 3 weeks than I did, I felt like, in a year's time. So one night, we went to watch one of the trainers there, one of the older trainers. He was, retired 5 times or whatever. He's probably 55 years old, which is ancient for a Muay Thai fighter. Most guys retire at like 25. So he was probably like 50, 55, and he had a match against another old guy. So it was a pretty big deal. We all went out there to support him, and he was the main event. So he fought around like 10 o'clock, and that's late. I mean, if you're waking up at 6 a.m., you're training 6 hours a day, you're usually sleeping by 8 p.m. So I remember I'm sitting there, I'm struggling to keep my eyes open, when a fight promoter came up to me, and he says, I hear you want to fight in Thailand. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's why I'm here. I'd love to fight out here. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, you fight him tonight. And he points at some Thai kid. And I was like, him tonight? And I just remember turning and looking at my coach, and I was like, I don't have shorts, a cup, mouth guard, hand wraps. I don't have anything. And he's just smiling, nodding at me like he's been here 100 times before. And I was like, oh man, okay. So I gotta get ready, right? This is gonna be my first pro fight. No shin guards, no headgear, and no mouthpiece. I didn't wear a mouthpiece in this fight. Borrowed someone's cup, borrowed someone's shorts, and that was it. 1 o'clock came around, and it was time to go. I was all massaged, I was all warmed up, ready, got in the ring, and it was fight time. So round 1 began, and as most Muay Thai matches go, it was pretty slow. You know, we're feeling each other out, getting ready for this potential 5-round bout ahead of us. So we're working our teeps and our jabs, just feeling each other out, getting used to each other's style. I noticed he was very evasive. I couldn't catch him with a lot of my punches, a lot of my kicks. He would attack me in flurries. You know, he would come rushing in with punches, with kicks, and overwhelm me. I think he knew I was a little hesitant. Once we entered the clinch, I felt stronger, but then that's when, boom, I got hit with my first elbow. And I remember checking to see if I had blood, and nothing. I was okay. So the first round ended, and I felt okay. I felt pretty good. I felt stronger than him, even though he was quicker and had overwhelmed me a couple of times. Round 2, I was gonna switch it up. So now I'm starting to feel good. I'm landing punches at will. You know, I'm starting to catch. I'm starting to be able to cut off the ring, and I feel like I'm doing some damage. So I'm getting the upper hand. I'm really working him now. And then he starts to rush me. Starts to, you know, come at me with another barrage of punches and kicks. So I keep my cool. I take a couple steps back, and I see him miss with a punch, and his back exposed. So I go to counter with this big hook, and I'm on the ground. And the ref standing over top me. I'm seeing 2 refs, and next thing I know, I'm back on my feet. That quick, I hit the ground, I was back up. And I remember the refs finishing his 8 count, and all I can think is, I'm done, that's it. Like, I don't want to fight anymore. And he just sort of like ushers me towards my opponent. Next thing I know, I'm moving towards him. And like I said, I just wanted to be done. All I could think in my head was, I made it to Thailand, I survived, I trained out here, I had my first fight, I don't have to win, I'm done. Are my teeth even here? I'm not even wearing a mouthpiece. Like, is my nose broken? All of these thoughts are going through my head, and I was scared, I really was. So he goes to throw a teep, it knocks me off balance, I go to throw a kick, again, I still, my feet aren't even underneath me. One of the things that I had trained before coming out to Thailand was just overall strength. I was hitting the weights a lot. I knew that most Thais are going to have better skill because they've been training their whole life out here. So the one thing that I can have on them is more strength. So I remember just clinching up. I was like, I'll clinch up and I'll take them down as much as I can. So I was going for slams, I was going for takedowns, and then just trying to work my knees when I could, avoiding those elbows. He came rushing at me again, and this is when I had to keep my cool, right? I knew that if I got caught with something big again, that was it. I'd be knocked out and I wouldn't be getting back up. And I remember my corner just saying, punching, punching. That's all they could say. They didn't want me to kick anymore. They wanted my feet underneath me, and they just wanted me to punch. I dropped low for a cross to the body, which connects, and I sprung up for a hard left hook to the head and put him down. And I remember just thinking, please don't get up. I am so done. I just want this to be over. I want to go home. And he was struggling. He was trying to get up, but I don't know if it was pain or if he was just off balance. Couldn't make it for the 10 count, and I won my fight. It was an incredible feeling. Everyone was cheering for me. I remember seeing random guys in the crowd that were betting on me cheering for me. My corner was cheering for me. The kids that I was training with for the 3 weeks, they were cheering for me. I remember afterwards, the ride home in the car, we were in a truck, a pickup truck, and we just sat in the bed of the truck as we rode home. And we were just going over the fight, we were watching the video. It was a great experience, one of the best of my life. Next day, I looked like the Elephant Man from that elbow. My face was all swollen from my nose to my lip to my eye, but I felt good. Like I said, I was happy. Then I noticed my foot was hurting, and I think I may have broke some bones in my foot, kicking them in the elbow or in the knee or something like that. Actually, that's how I got into boxing when I got home. My trip was cut short because I got impetigo staph. I don't know if it was from the fight or from training or sharing equipment or what, but really bad all over my face and on my legs. But so yeah, I mean, I guess the guys back home are right. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, but I'd love to go back and do it again someday. Someday. I'm Shane Faison, and that was my fight story.
Alright, so we're making a 5-part series where Ant and I play the underdogs. And we're trying to make it through the day or the level where we're trying to beat our bullies. But the bullies are going to be played by your favorite YouTubers. There's going to be tons of choreographed Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and with Ant in it, you can expect a lot of haymakers being thrown. Fight Tips original web series. It's going to play out like a video game. I want you to think Rush Hour, the movie, meets Double Dragon, the video game. It's going to be awesome. I'll tell you more about it. Let's go.